Hello and welcome to Fin Business. Today we are in conversation with Naveen Mehra. He's a regional director of Fortinet and we are going to discuss cyber security. Naveen, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
So we have seen banks, financial institutions are losing money left, right and center because somebody is hacking them. In fact, the recent example of one of the largest cooperative bank in the country in India have lost huge amount. I would like to ask you, because each and every bank claims that they have firewalls, they have bought some security, they have strong networks, still they are losing lots of money, still somebody is hacking them. So could you please explain what goes wrong with these banks? Where is the major leakage?
Security has really transformed, and security is not like the way it used to be, like having a lock and key, or basically deploying a firewall and just writing a few policies or a rule allowing or disallowing people access, or access to applications. Well, security is also not just about content scanning on basically scanning for a virus, or scanning for a access to the internet and stuff like that. Today, the security has become much more advanced. I mean to say the perpetrators have become much more advanced. The cyber criminals have become much more educated. There are many tools available. So, and they are basically a bit ruthless, where the concept of advanced persistent threats is something that the organizations are continuously facing. When I talk about this, or when we experience this, you can see that even the largest cooperative bank, even though was basically not compromised just by a script kiddie or a hacker. There was a very well organized, a syndicate of cyber criminals which was behind this, which were working from many countries, which had cloned many cards and stuff like that. The problem lies here is that these organizations don't understand that they have to really upgrade and update their security systems. Okay. They, as I said, they rely on those legacy systems. There are many new technologies which have been introduced to mitigate these type of threats, like some of them being a web application firewall, or a sandboxing solution, or a DDoS solution, an endpoint solution which is not just relying on signatures but also something like artificial intelligence or behavior based analysis. So many things, knowledge, awareness, adoption, upgrading their IT systems, also monitoring. Very important that you adopt a process whereby if there is an attempt to breach, you basically monitor. In this example also, in this case also, if you see, that was something which was lacking big time.
Right.
There were alerts, but the alerts were, I would say, ignored.
So, taking some cues, and the basic question that I have today, again, we are since taking this example, I will take the same example forward. And what we understood is, there was not, perhaps they didn't understand the difference between network and power. They pulled off the plug of power than the network. I mean, that's what the cyber experts believe that they should have done. Is it that we are spending too much money on automation and not on physical security?
Well, this about the response and reaction by the bank employees is something that has been not verified by me, but that has been understood by the things which have come out into the internet, or to the public domain. But I heard that probably this is how it was a reaction done, where the power was plugged out from the server, which actually resulted in logs or information that could have been very handy for the investigation agencies. But then, very true. I think we always, and many a times you see that people are even in earthquake-prone countries. For that example, I just want to read. If there is a crisis that happens, there are emergency, procedures that the citizens are trained for. They have to duck, they have to act as 1, 2, 3. They have been told and explained or been taught right from the school level, because they know about these type of threats. Today, similarly, the banks, who are basically our keepers or custodians of finance and money, they have to be explained on, in case of a breach or an attempt to breach, what are the steps or basically the practices that you need to follow in general. So if people would have known, okay, if there is an attempt, what I need to do, A, B, C, D, I need to remove this cable, call this person, write to this, or so and so forth, right? And take these actions on probably the firewalls or the security systems, something like, have these banks really adopted something like an IP reputation? to really mitigate the blacklisted IP address from accessing their servers.
Absolutely.
So you can see what is happening on the logs, whether you have implemented a security information, event information system to probably see what's happening. So practically yes, but physical security, if you ask me, well, that's always a part. People's access to the server rooms are checked. Are basically, there are some basic practices on that. Nobody just reboots a server as such, and there are definitely alerts generated. But in this case, it was basically, if it is truth, there was a bit of ignorance about the way they went about, or there was a panic in which the reaction was really better expected. You know, that I could say that.
Again, what goes wrong when actually banks adopt technology? Because at one side, the hackers are spending a lot of money on upgrading themselves and beating the technology which XYZ banks has already have. And you know, they are like reskilling themselves day by day and looking for one opportunity to hack the bank, and they're successful as well. On the other side, when financial institutions, BFSI, when they're adopting technology, what goes wrong with them? Is it budget is the problem, or is it the talent is the problem, or is it that perhaps they don't know what need to be adopted?
Well, a combination of both. I would say talent, definitely there is a lack of cyber security experts in our domain. So it's already, there is a dearth of, you know, people who are well educated, who have the experience and the skill sets to probably achieve that. At the same time, the evaluation of the technology products is actually something that the organizations really need to refocus and relook at it. Something like security is actually to be adopted from OEMs which have a proven track record. Right. You do this, right? When you actually talk about securing your homes, you will definitely look at something that has been proven over time and that has got a very clean, mature track record.
Yes.
It is also a question of trust when you're adopting security, but at the same time, the basic checks and basically that understanding is very important. Take an example of Fortinet. When we introduce products, it goes through multiple checks. At the same time, there are third-party validations. Today, I can proudly say that when we bring in products, and we are basically having products which have the highest industry certifications with them. Technical certifications. I'm not just talking about an analyst who has ranked us better compared to another OEM. I'm talking about the very important certifications like NSS, ICSA, VB100, and so on and so forth. So there are many, but this actually proves us that we are for a consumer, gives us the trust and impetus that this is a technology which can be adopted. That evolution of technology is very important, in terms.
So when you say evolution of technology is very important, how often do you think BFSI or finance companies should upgrade themselves?
Good question. So I think whenever they are basically digitizing their business continuously as they were evolving to the customer's needs. They are bringing in new applications, new methods of increasing their business. They have to put security at each of those business areas. True. So if today I'm a bank and I basically decided to get into a mobile app, I need to ensure that the mobile app created by me is basically working in a very secured perspective, that the app has been rightly designed. If I'm putting a web portal, basically for even people to give their KYC or even do net banking, I need to ensure that the web portal has got the security parameters in place, like the WAF we spoke about. Like in case of a mobile app, they can ensure those type of application securities. So on and so forth. So as your business evolves, you're getting new things into perspective. You need to extend that type of, you need to extend security in those areas.
Right.
So that's where I think what happens is that, as I told earlier to you, people adopt a firewall and an endpoint antivirus and they think that they are secured for the time being. And at the same time, their business is continuously growing and they are bringing new tools or, new areas of increasing their business, but they are not adopting security in those areas where the IT is really expanding itself. So my appeal there is that people need to look at it from those perspectives. Example, people are coming up with new branches. People are still buying those legacy routers and switches when actually the advanced countries or networks have moved towards secure SD-WAN, and people are still here looking at those legacy ways. In secure SD-WAN, it's like your complete communication from that endpoint to your data center is completely encrypted. Imagine. At the same time, availability and uptime is maintained. Right. So these are the new advanced technologies that I think can be adopted as you evolve.
since you mentioned about advanced technologies, I have one more question, and that's my last question. What are the trends that you see specifically in security globally or around the world? How big is the gap between the network that the banks or the finance companies are building and the hackers? How big is the gap?
Most of the technologies adopted by banks or even enterprises are actually not integrated. So that's a very common problem. You have the best of technologies, but you see that the technologies are not talking to each other.
Okay.
So if there is a breach, so all technologies are not cohesively working in a form that they are mitigating that attack. So if it is a firewall, it is not integrating with a WAF. It's a WAF. It's not integrating with a sandbox. If it is a sandbox, it is not integrating with the endpoint. And there are various vectors where the cyber attack can happen and the cyber criminal can take an advantage. So the one gap that I see predominantly is basically this orchestration or integration of different technologies. Right. And that's something that is a very key miss. And that's something that the organizations need to look in times to come. Also, with the introduction of artificial intelligence as one of the areas which is very upcoming and debatable, at the time that you want to ensure that you use this platform to get more digitized. So, artificial intelligence is also something which is coming in cybersecurity in a big way. Right. Fortinet is adopting this technology area to probably improvise its product and bring better technology. At the same time, cloud. Many of the customers of banks today are looking at using cloud as a platform. So, which is basically a totally untrusted area of network that you're getting into. Right. That's also an area where you need to adopt security. These are some of the advanced practices that I see even a cooperative bank or enterprise can adopt.
All right, Naveen. Thank you so much for that information. It was wonderful chatting with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen.